It's finally time. The 2-year journey of playing, finishing, and ranking every single Naruto game will finally come to an end today. As we rank the final Naruto game, Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. Strikers? It's Striker, but the community still isn't sure. This is one of those games that got an insanely mixed reaction, and rightfully so. There's a lot of things it does well and a lot of things it doesn't. It's not the type of Naruto game that everyone wanted, but it's one that grew over time with content updates and balance patches, and has managed to not only captivate an active community, it has become one of the best-selling Naruto games of all time, on the same level as a few Storm games. But how did such a controversial game come to have such a success, and where does it rank on our Naruto games tier list? Welcome to the final episode of the Ranking of Naruto Games! Brought to you by Raycon. They're wireless earbuds, and if you haven't made the change from wired to wireless, let me tell you, it's such a step up in your quality of life. But why Raycon? Well, first, the everyday earbuds look awesome, and they come in a variety of colors so you can choose your favorite. They offer 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life, and they start at half the price of other premium audio brands. Second, they have the perfect in-ear fit so you can use them for workouts, as they simply will not fall off, as evidenced by the Shake Test Cam. This is thanks to their optimized gel tips, which make them so incredibly comfortable that I use them to fall asleep every night, usually watching Fairy Tail, because no one cares what happens in Fairy Tail. It's the perfect anime to fall asleep to. And last but not least, they sound great. And that's where earbuds are all about. It's no wonder they have over 48,000 5-star reviews. So if that sounds good to you and you'd like to support the channel, go to buyraycon.com/globku to get 15% off anything you order. That's buyraycon.com/globku for 15% off. The link is down below. And thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring this video. Shinobi Striker had big shoes to fill. Fans were coming off of Naruto Storm 4, currently the best Naruto game in our ranking, and they were looking at what was gonna be the next step for Naruto. Shinobi Striker was a huge departure from the Storm formula, so naturally a lot of fans were disappointed by the type of game it was. No matter how good or bad it would turn out to be, it just wasn't what they were looking for. And that's despite having a feature that fans have been looking forward to for a very long time: character creation. Shinobi Striker lets you create your own ninja, and over time you can unlock thousands of customization items and make your ninja stand out as someone truly unique. You would also unlock jutsu to customize your loadout and fill in one of the 4 shinobi roles: attack, ranged, defense, or heal type. The customization in Shinobi Striker is phenomenal. It borrows a lot of elements from Dragon Ball Xenoverse, but the abilities you can equip are often much more unique, both visually and gameplay-wise. There just aren't that many duplicates. And speaking of gameplay, I think Shinobi Striker's concept is amazing, and the game plays really well. Moving around is awesome with all the ninja stuff you'd want to do. You got big jumps, wall running, you can pull yourself to walls with a wire kunai. They basically made you Naruto ninjas with a grappling hook. And then combat-wise, you have attack combos with movesets that change depending on the weapon you have equipped. You got a ninja tool that you can also choose for your loadout, the jutsu you equipped, the ultimate, and a substitution jutsu with a long cooldown to get you out of a hairy situation. All of that was really well done in my opinion, and it's a game like no other. The gameplay is so unique, there's no other game that I can reference to say, you know what, Shinobi Striker kind of plays like that. It's a unique balance of movement, positioning, and melee combat that I just have never seen before, which means that so far, so good. The problems began after that. If the gameplay was good and you were happy with the ninja you made, was there any content to enjoy any of this? Well, in short, there's a mission mode that you can play solo or in co-op, and there's competitive multiplayer. Let's start with the mission mode. This is where you can do various missions, most of them consisting of beating up groups of enemies with the occasional boss fight. There are some missions that are more unique than others, but overall this game mode doesn't offer a ton of variety, and most of it is not that fun. You can start playing these missions solo, and that's actually part of the progression early on, but later missions, while technically still possible to complete solo, they're going to require a team thanks to their difficulty, which does not scale no matter how many team members you have available. And before you know it, the missions are over. This mission list may look very long, but a lot of these are duplicate missions. You've done them before, they're just slightly more difficult now. So mission mode felt lacking to a lot of people, especially those looking forward to a crafted story experience like they had in Storm. But there was a reason why this mission mode was lacking, and that was competitive multiplayer. This was the star of the show. This was the main game. Mission mode was almost treated as a side mode, even though you needed to complete a lot of missions to unlock some of the jutsu. Competitive multiplayer, however, released with 4 different game modes. Combat battle, where each team has a set number of lives, and the goal is to deplete those by knocking out enemy ninja. It's this game's team deathmatch. Base battle, where both teams fight to control 3 strategic points on the map. Flag battle, which is a capture the flag game mode. And barrier battle, the game mode that is universally hated. One team defends the giant frog while the other team attempts to take it down. Fighting the frog is really not fun. A lot of people simply quit when they see this game mode popping up. Still, it's a nice collection of game modes, but unfortunately even this mode was lacking in content, as it only featured 5 stages. Now, if you combine those 5 stages with the 4 different game modes, that leads to about 20 different combinations, which the development team might have thought, wow, that's a lot. It really wasn't. Very quickly, players felt like they ran out of content. Even though there was a ton of jutsu and cosmetics left to unlock, the gameplay loop got repetitive really fast simply because this number of stages wasn't enough. And it didn't help that the game made it extremely difficult to play with friends. You can set up a party and queue for a match, but if you want to play against your friends, there are no custom lobbies that allow this. Naruto games are famous for their clan battles, a team of ninja against a team of rival ninja. And this was the perfect game to facilitate that. But if you party up, you're just gonna go on matchmaking and find a team to play against. You cannot match against your friends or rivals. And this is probably what hurt the game the most. It just wasn't a content-rich game, so it got old really fast. It had everything in place to thrive competitively, but without a way to set up games between 2 teams and no way to spectate those matches, it made things a bit tricky. Which is why I really applaud the efforts of Fleaboy Jetson, who still to this day will host competitive Shinobi Striker tournaments on his Twitch. And the competitive scene is pretty damn cool to follow. Make sure to check it out if you have the chance. But ultimately, this is one tournament organizer and a competitive scene actively fighting against the game's systems in order to make this possible. Everything the community has tried to do with Shinobi Striker, it always felt like the game was just actively fighting against it. This game's saving grace was the DLC. They supported the hell out of it, with balance patches that kept the meta changing and introducing new jutsu with their DLC characters. This is something that made the game feel fresh with every new release. However, a new character with a few new jutsu can only do so much for the game, so about a week after a DLC comes out, everyone is back to their same old content void that is Shinobi Striker. There was an update though that was the absolute best thing they could have done, which was the addition of Survival Exercise. This brought a new game mode to be played exclusively on a brand new map, the Chunin Exams Arena, and it's a free-for-all game mode, no teams this time, which was a huge departure from other game modes, and it quickly became a fan favorite. Turns out all people wanted was to fight against each other, without any silly goals like capturing a flag or a base. This update was incredible, and maybe something they should have invested more in, but alas, this was the only game mode ever added to Shinobi Striker, and the only map for that matter. They kept up the DLC characters and the balance patches. Support for this game was definitely good, and it has lasted for a really long time. As of making this video, we're at the end of Season 4 of DLC. That's a total of 28 characters over the course of 3.5 years. Coming in steadily and always with a balance patch. Not a lot of games get this kind of support. In fact, none of the games in our ranking have gotten this kind of support ever. Sure, times are different, and this is a different type of game that perhaps demands this a bit more than others, but it's still something that we need to acknowledge and recognize. However, maybe their efforts were a little bit misplaced. Character hype will last for about a week, while a new stage would be a bigger and more lasting change. At the end of the day, Naruto Shinobi Striker is a game that's very easy to get sick of, because after a few hours, you've seen everything there is to see. If you can stay motivated because you want to get better and climb the ranks for a couple of rewards at the end of the season, that's great, but you're gonna be doing the same stuff over and over. And this is why I love Shinobi Striker, but only in small bursts. Coming back to the game with every DLC is the perfect dose for me, but I could never make this a game that I play on a daily basis. There just isn't enough there for me. Even if I have an infinite number of loadouts to try, that's simply not enough if there isn't a bigger variety of content to explore. It's a very unique game with an excellent customization system that has been supported for a really long time, and we actually don't know if they're done releasing characters at this point. However, there's a clear lack of content, especially in the maps department. Mission mode is extremely mediocre, and it still lacks basic online features like custom lobbies. Given what the game has achieved and taking into account all of its shortcomings, I think it's fair to rank this game at B. A very high B, but where exactly depends on personal preference. Storm 2 and Rise of a Ninja are mostly there for single player, and this is a multiplayer first game, which makes it very hard to compare. But since this is my list, I'm gonna rank it anyway, so I'll rank it above Naruto Broken Bond. I really hate the filler in that story. And that's it. That's every Naruto game ranked. I can't believe I'm done with this. I'm probably gonna make a few more videos on the ranking of Naruto games now that I've finished all of this. I mean, I gotta milk this content. Do you know how many hours this took me? Almost 2 years playing old Naruto games. So hey, is there anything you'd like to ask a guy like me who has played it all? I might make a little Q&A video next time, which is something I don't think I've ever done before. So if you've got questions for someone who has played every Naruto game, leave them down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name's Globku and I'll see you next time. Bye!